the order is going to matter here, right? We don't care about the order that the cards are coming up in. That's why we're using combinations here. For the first one here, it would have been okay to use permutations because it's all spades and all 5 cards. This one is going to be, you're going to have to use combinations realizing you don't care about the orders, right? It doesn't say anything about what's the chance you're going to get 3 spades and 2 hearts in this order. If it doesn't say anything about in that order, you want to know how many ways can you choose 3 spades and 2 hearts. 3 spades and 2 hearts. You want to know, on the bottom it's still going to be the same number, right? From 52, you want to know how many ways you can choose any 5 cards. 3 spades and 2 hearts. The number of ways you can choose 3 spades is 13C3. The number of ways you can choose 2 hearts is 13C2. The number of ways you can pick those 2 things together, what do I do with those 2 numbers? Yeah, you multiply them, right? Like the things we did at the beginning of Combinatorics where it said you have 3 pairs of pants and 5 shirts, how many different outfits can you make or whatever, that kind of thing. You multiply the 2 numbers, 13C3, 13C2. Whatever that, 2 ties to put with it. So it's 30, right? You don't want to go without a tie. Whatever that works out to here, again, 98960. This number is how many different poker hands there are. By the way, there are just about 2.6 million different poker hands. Yeah, if you write the number often enough, you end up memorizing it. It isn't that I sat down and tried to memorize it. Although grade 8s are always like, wow, how do you memorize that? And I say, well, like phone numbers, and nobody has to remember phone numbers anymore, so that doesn't really work anymore.
Have you worked out on top? Have you got
No.
started?
I got started. Would you like to get started on it? I can get you started on it if you want.
Get started. You can put it right. Put it.
22308. Okay. Whatever those 2 are individually, you can work that out. We're slowly working our way up here. 3 spades and 2 non-spades. 52C5, 13C3 for the 3 spades. What about the 2 non-spades here? Everything else, right? How many are? What is everything else? 39? C2. I'll let you work out that number after, because this is the important part that we need to see. This, like most people would be okay with this because it tells you 3 of these and 2 of those. But you need to realize that if somebody says, what's your chance there's only 2 spades in your hand you're choosing, the most common wrong answer would be, most people would say 52C5 on the bottom. What do you think they'd put on top? They'd put part of the right thing. They'd say 13C2, and that's it. No, well, yeah, plus, I guess. But this would be a common wrong answer because you have to account for the other cards, right? You could have the ace of spades and the 2 of spades, but you still need to pick the other 3 cards. They can't be spades, but they can be a lot of different things, right? You could put in 3 cards there. You could put in a different 3 cards. You could put in a whole bunch of different things there. How many? What do we have to put up here? This means 2 spades and what? 2 spades. You have to interpret that means 2 spades and 3 others, right? 3 non-spades, 3 other cards. If you're choosing 5 down here, you have to account for all 5 of them up top, right? 39C3. Even though it doesn't say 2 spades and 2 other cards.
What about 1 spade?
Well, then it would be 1. Yeah, no. Oh, you mean? Oh no, this doesn't say. This says there are only. I guess it should say there are exactly. Yeah.
I'm used to really.
You're used to really precise language. I know that's good that you're getting used to precise language. What else here? 2 aces, 2 kings, 1 other card. I should have just said 2 aces, 2 kings. Without. Although then I guess the other one could be a.
2 aces.
That is exactly 2. Who is the idiot who taught you this? In precise language. Exactly, fine. Exactly. That was me. I'm the idiot. There are exactly 2 aces, exactly 2 kings. Then you don't need to say 1 other card, right? I guess you don't need the word exactly if it says in 1 other card. What do we need here? 52C5 is on the bottom because you're choosing 5 cards. 2 aces, you need 4C2. You need another 4C2 for the 2 kings. And you need, how many other cards are there then?
There's like
40.
45.
Isn't it 44? 52, take away 8. Well, because you don't want it to be any of the kings. You don't want it to be any of the aces. You want it to be any of the other cards. There's four.
Right.
4.
Oh.
4 aces, 4 kings. You take those out, you got 44 cards left.
Spades still.
No, we're talking about, yeah. So again, whatever that works out to, I'm sure you can evaluate one of those numbers. This one you can do in your head, right? If you're choosing one thing from 44, it's 44. No, it's not. Actually, the other one, it wouldn't hurt to memorize that at some point, and then if you want to memorize that number, feel free. So whatever that works out to. Okay? Notice that there was never the word or in here. There's the word and in here. Okay, there was the word and in here, so what operation did we use?
Multiplication.
Yeah, we used this a fair amount. We have not used any adding because there hasn't been an or in here. Eventually we'll get to some that involve or. Maybe we could add a special bonus question here. Well, not in the sense that you think of bonus questions, but F could be, what? Give me a question where we would have to use or, where we'd have to use some adding.
A good hand or a bad hand?
A good hand or bad hand, but that's hard to define, right? So we're going to say there are, how about at most 2 face cards? At most 2 face cards.
Do we? Do I add jokers in for face cards? I always do. No? You don't?
You don't usually play cards with jokers in it.
I play Old Maid.
Okay, so then you can put jokers in it.
2 cards, put two jokers in.
That's crazy stuff, it sounds like, but
You only choose one Old Maid.
with you can do the 2 jokers question. You can make yours out of 54.
12 face cards.
Oh, you took 2 other ones out, I see. But then it depends which ones you take out.
Yeah.
Okay, I started again because I thought we were finished with that. At most, remember, you got to think about what the word at most means here. This is going to be a big, huge fraction. This is a 5-card hand, so this is 52C5. We got to add on the top. We want to add all the different ways this could happen. I think we should write down with words first the different things that we could have. What could we have here when it says at most? We could have
0 face cards.
We could have 2 face cards and 3 non-face cards, right?
I thought we were using or.
Or
Oh, okay.
1 face card and
You said and again.
This
4.
is going through
Well, there's and or in here. There's both and or. Do you want me to write the word and in here? And.
No.
Or what's the last one here? What's the last possibility?
0.
No, I already got that one.
0.
0 face cards and
5 non-face cards.
5 non-face cards.
Or just 5 non-face cards.
That's it. You don't. You can put 0 face cards if you want, but you don't need that, right? If you want to work out all those possibilities, the first one, from the 12 face cards, you're choosing 2, and you got to multiply that by, from the 40 non-face cards, you're choosing 3. That's the first part. Or we got to have plus, or plus.
Why are we doing this again?
Yeah, we just did this.
Like we did a whole unit.
I know we did, because people need to be reminded of these things. You don't want me to finish this then, you're saying?
No, go ahead.
12C1. Oh, this is much different. There's a denominator now. It's out of something. Well, and it's a very good observation, though. This is the same thing, right?
That's out of the poker hand number that you memorized.
That's right. And times 40C4. Plus, if you really want to say this, you could say, from 12 I'm choosing 0. That's nothing. That's 1, right? There's one way for that to happen. We could put that in there if you want it. That makes you feel good. 12C0. But you don't actually need that in there. Thank you. And 40C5. If you work that out, I'm sure you'll come up with the answer.
I don't want to.
Okay. You don't want to.